All right. Gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Warrior Week, Parables from the Pit, with me, Coach Jesse Ewell. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Good. Every week we come at you with a conversation from the pit, and today's conversation is going to be the pain of not pleasing your wife.
Yeah.
It's a big one. So we're coming at you from the pit with the pain of not pleasing your wife. Sit down and relax and enjoy this show, Parables from the Pit. Well, it appears that this is going to be a different kind of show because, number one, we don't have any chairs to sit on, so we're standing up. So this is the first show ever out of all the episodes that we're actually standing up. There's going to be a purpose for it. Why would you say that we don't have the chairs, Jesse?
Well, we don't need to sit anymore, man. Like, let's just be honest. We got more energy standing up. We're going to create some more movement, and we're going to be way more on point just by standing up versus sitting down.
Okay, so that kind of works out because yesterday you did this thing that we call the stack. So for those of you that are not familiar with the stack is, inside of the Warriors Way protocol training, we have this thing called the stack, which is basically a questionnaire. It's a questionnaire that you ask yourself every morning. So you put your ideas, your thoughts, and everything that is, or your story, better said. And inside of that, you have an opportunity to reevaluate some of your stories. And guys inside of the Warriors movement do that, and as a result of it, they're able to find new stories that actually serves them better. So once in a while, there comes a story that is actually transformational in a way that it affects the entire movement. We have over 1,000 guys inside of the movement of the Brothers Way and the Brotherhood of the Warriors Way. And inside of that, there comes some stacks that affect the majority of the guys inside. And that is one that you came up with yesterday in your revelation. I mean, this morning as you shared, the ripple effect of your sharing is already taking place. And so that's why we're here on this podcast, even taking it on the outside, because it matters. So why don't you just take us through the whole process and what the revelation was, and then we'll continue talking about this, man.
So I did a stack on my wife and us having sex and her not having an orgasm and me having an orgasm, and how I always associated sex with pleasing my wife, and if she didn't have an orgasm, then she didn't like it or she didn't enjoy it. And so I would immediately go to this shame and guilt because of that, put myself in the pit. But then I would also take it out on her and almost make her feel this pressure that because she didn't have an orgasm, that now, our sex life has this problem. But I would put myself in the pit and be like, well, shit, I didn't please my wife, so therefore, she doesn't like sex, which probably means she doesn't really like me anymore. And it would just be this weird dynamic. And it's something that I became aware of just the other night, and I did a stack on it today. And what came out of it was like, listen, sex is for intimacy and connection, and the orgasm is based on how you connect and how intimate you are. It's not the orgasm first. And so I've felt this pressure I put on not only on myself but on my wife, so much to the point where, that's what she feels every time we have sex.
And so, number one, this is not an easy topic for anyone to talk about or hear about. But here at Warrior, we fucking don't hide anything. I mean, this is how we operate, right? Last episode, we talked about race, black and white, or whatever you want to call it. Today, we're talking about sex. And inside of that, most men will not come clean with this exact situation that you talked about. So when you shared that, I was like, fuck, that's exactly my situation. It's like, most of my life, I've been running and chasing the audience, and I've been the performer, right? So in this case, like think about it. Like, the audience is your wife, and now you become the performer. As soon as you put yourself in the performer frame, and for some reason you don't get the feedback from the audience, let's call it orgasm, right?
Yeah.
Then you go back in the room and in the backstage and like, shit, I'm a lousy performer. Should I even fucking perform or not?
Yeah.
So when I saw that this morning, I'm like, dude, this is fucking huge, because most of our lives, at least me and the men that I know, we have been running after this false lift, which is, so as long as you're able to please your wife, that means your marriage is going to be good, or you guys are actually connected. And I've seen tons of guys where they don't have any sexual issues in their marriage, but they don't even fucking talk.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know what to say to their kids jointly. And so when you reframe that as that is the connection that I chase, not the orgasm, and the orgasm is, I think you said, like a frosting on top of the cake.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. Like, that's a reframe that needs to be shared. And then you came in this morning and we saw each other and said, like, hey, man, let's go on a podcast, because you also are feeling like, fuck, this is like pretty fucking huge.
Well, when I was going through it, I was like, dude, I don't know if I can actually like share this.
Yeah.
Even in our group. And then when I did, I felt liberated. And then when you commented and said, fuck, I feel the same exact way. I'm like, well, shit, how many other guys feel the exact same way that I do? But not only that, if there's women on this, they may feel that same pressure.
Yes.
And it may just be a way for them to be able to talk and communicate this, but also for a man to be able to be like, shit, maybe I do please my wife. Maybe I just don't measure it the way that actually gets me the results I want.
And when you talked about the pit, particularly in your share, you said, whenever I do that, whenever I chase the orgasm only, I find myself in the sex pit, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about that place. Like, dude, that place is a place where a man is hurt. Mm-hmm. Because you're hurt for some fucking reason. And for me, I mean, it would be like some kind of physical comparison. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not performing enough. Maybe my penis is not big enough. Or there's always these maybes, because the comparison is what you're used to. Like, the only reference we have truly into sex is porn. Like, we don't have access to our neighbor's sex life. We don't have access, hope not, to your fucking parents' sex life. We don't have access to people's sex life. So the only point of reference and comparison becomes the porn industry. And inside of the man, dude, the minute you start comparing yourself with the porn industry, reality on TV, go figure that out. Like, it's a lost.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So you always feel
It's
like
not reality.
Dude, you feel like a fucking, like, yeah, when was reality on TV last? Some will argue and say Kardashian. Yeah, sure. You should probably listen to that podcast. But realistically, when you're in that space, man, like, you've already lost with comparing yourself with tons of shit out there. This reframing allows you to, like, just not go in that fucking pit and says, hey, you know what? I'm after the connection. Therefore, did I do anything that is required for that connection to get established in that physical encounter? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would go back to, okay, 12 years ago or 10 years ago or 8 years ago, like, maybe my wife would orgasm, way quicker or way more than she does now. So I would immediately compare myself to that, but I would also compare my wife to that person, which would put her in her pit and put me in my pit of, hey, I'm not pleasing my wife, and then on her end is like, hey, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. And in that pit, when you're feeling that pain, right, coming, it's because you're hurt because you didn't get what you wanted, which was this, like, I wanted this orgasm to happen. This didn't happen. Obviously, you're not aware of connection. Now you're hurt in that pit. And we said, and we established this in previous conversations, that hurt people, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're hurt, that you're going to eventually hurt someone. And the closest person to you is, to your point, is going to be your wife. You're going to put that pressure on that. And then somewhere else, you may even hurt yourself, man. Yeah. But, like, constantly taking a baseball bat and beating yourself that you may not be enough physically. Like, even like, you may not know all the tactics. Like, okay, maybe I should go get some sex training. And at the end of the day, whether you get the training or not, that's not the problem. Whether you get the sex toys or not, or however your sexual life is. But dude, like, you are gonna have to feel enough in that, because if you don't feel enough, then what the fuck do you have to give?
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, and if I put pressure on me, then I put pressure on my wife, which ultimately neither one of us are going to enjoy it.
Yes.
And experience, what we're not going to experience connection by putting pressure on each other.
Yes.
We're not going to experience intimacy by putting a bunch of pressure on each other. The only way we'll be able to experience anything out of it that we want is just by letting it be.
Correct. I truly believe what you mentioned today is, connection is robbed whenever there is this concept of audience and performer.
Yeah.
Whenever you have an audience and performer, there's expectation that comes into play. Connection gets lost there.
Connection is robbed when expectation is in the way.
Correct. And that's the story. Like, if you look at social media, that is the biggest thing. Like, we're all performing on social media because we're all built ourselves an audience. Maybe some of us are 20 people, others 200,000. The more you get an audience, the more you're putting a fucking show on.
Yeah. You're a performer instead of
You.
Yeah.
And definitely, when it comes to sexuality, like, this is something that most men don't talk about. Like, you won't have guys talk about that shit.
No, I actually just talked about it on one of the calls we had. And it was the same feeling I had when I went into post. My stack revelation was like, oh, shit. Like, dude, this is real. And then I shared it again, and I was like, oh, shit, this is real again. But then to the point where I was like, this is an actual real fucking problem that's not talked about with any men. Like, I've never heard men talk about this problem.
Never.
And so when you said that, I was like, well, shit, this is like a huge problem.
It's a huge problem. It's a huge unspoken issue. And again, it ties into exactly what we solve, which is, what is the biggest pain of a modern man today is not that he's socially alone, that he's operating alone. This is an exact example of operating alone. You're alone because you're not sharing this shit.
Right.
And so you're left to figure this shit out by yourself. And then the results are you're going to chase more and more something that it's a false fucking lift.
Yeah.
Today is a big day. Not only for me personally, for yourself, for sharing this, and everybody else that came in contact. I mean, I've been talking about this all day. And even when we met Garrett in the office, he's into the conversation about this as well. And there's going to be more conversation on this, right? The more point of view. But this is a point where, dude, listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, man, you know what? I hear you guys, bro. I don't have any problem with this. You're in a good place. That's great. I would have you consider to look at what else you need to improve in your life. But if you're the kind of guy that actually is resonating with this message, it's like, motherfucker, that is exactly how I feel. I feel like I have to chase this orgasm. If not, like, if I don't give it to my wife, I'm not enough. But am I focusing on the connection, establishing connection? What does that mean? So let's talk about for people that are curious about figuring out what is this connection. Like, what would you define the connection it is in this context?
Well, let me just give you a little a playback on, like, our date night. Is I got a text from my wife the next day that said, hey, like, I had so much fun on our date night. We even ended up, like, slow dancing at this restaurant. And, like, she listed out all these things like, hey, I loved our date. We did this and this was so much fun, and I want to go back and do this again. But I'd already put myself in the pit, and I didn't even allow myself to be like, you know what? Maybe I need to measure it off this, not off whether or not my wife had an orgasm.
Yeah. And what a beautiful list, man.
Yeah, to me, the connection is, did me and my wife, like, connect, like, eye to eye?
Yeah.
Did I see her soul, or did I just see, her for sex?
And, like, even, like, dancing with your wife in the public. I mean, dude, last time we did that was what? Like, back in the days in high school times?
Yeah.
Like, to do that, to recreate that with the woman that you love. And at the moment when it's happening, you may not realize. But after the fact, when you look at that text that came from her, you're like, shit, man, we've done all this shit. And that's connection. Something enabled that, right? Something. And So I say, okay, well, because of that, now I get into this physical encounter with my wife, sex, and like my mind is no longer chasing a performance, but rather being fueled by the list, the fact that we dance and the fact that we have an awesome weekend, awesome day, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's one of those things that, like, I think sometimes as a man, it's like, what can I do to my wife to get her in bed
Yes.
to perform?
Yes.
Versus, how do I set up the conditions to connect with my wife on an intimate level,
Yes.
and then whatever happens from there happens.
And at the end of it, through what we've learned and where we live, setting up the conditions for our wives and the women in our life to truly be happy, it's exactly, the task that we have signed up for.
Yeah.
And too often we just want to, quickly get to the results and say, because I've been doing this and this and that, I've earned the right to get these results.
Yeah, like the guy, automatically as a guy, it's like, hey, if I earn the money,
Yeah.
if I, took my wife out, or, even if I didn't, like, I just automatically earned the right to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Which, to me, sex is very important in a marriage, but there's also this other side of, like, well, what about our wives? How do they feel?
Correct.
And their story is different than our story.
100%.
Their story is like, hey, they want to be taken care of, but they also have a story of like, hey, I'm not good enough if I don't orgasm for my husband.
Correct.
So they have the same story. It's just in a different context.
Truly, they care more about the conditions than we do. We couldn't give, like, conditions to us don't really, at least the story that we tell ourselves is don't really matter, because that's how we operate as men.
Yeah, we're more primal in that sense.
We're more primal, and women, like, they truly like these conditions, these steps leading into an intimate connection between two souls becoming one in that moment. And if truly you walk into that and you like visualize yourself like two lights merging into one, and now there is that one, that whole experience, for you to even think that way, bro, like for you to even think it's like two lights merging in one and there is this one light, for you need to have certain fucking conditions on yourself. I can guarantee you, if it was me walking into that, like tuned up as primal, getting into that, all that conversation of light and one and all that shit goes out the door, I'm immediately fucking chasing an orgasm for me.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, okay, fuck it. I'll deal with the consequences after. Because that's another attitude. It's like you go to this mode where you say, fuck it. I want to, like, it's immediate gratification, right? So let me get it, and then I'll deal with all the rest.
But even if you got the gratification, you're still not gratified because she never got it.
She never got it. It's a false lift.
Right.
So, I thought it was a very important to bring this out and broadcast this. And if you're out there listening to this, bro, like, this is the conversation of the Warriors way. This conversation happens two ways. One, it's online. You get to come as part of the King's Kit and be part of this experience. You can check out more of the details of that on thekingskit.com. It's an online experience that allows you to come in the mix and in the brotherhood. But if you're kind of guy that's sitting there and listening to this, and this is like, hey, bro, this is some immediate shit that I need to put into play, then you come into an experience called Warrior Week. And this is what we do here, me and Jesse. We run that event. We run that event, and over 500 guys coming in next year. We had 350 guys coming in last year. And this is it's an immediate access to impact in your life. At the end of the day, the lessons and everything that you capture during that week are all forged by you and the guys going through it. We have nothing to fucking offer other than setting the fucking condition for you to have an orgasm at fucking Warrior Week and realize that you fucking matter.
Yeah, if we could set the conditions for our wives like we did at Warrior Week, then we got a home run. Man.
Yeah. So we're on a mission of setting some condition right now because we're fucking aware. And now that we're aware, we are fucked because we can never go back to the version of self that at least Jesse knew, I knew. It's like now sex is all about connection, not performance. And I love that. It's reframed forever for me. And that is powerful, bro. I mean, that's what I can teach my son now. You see what I mean? So he doesn't have to deal with the fucking pit of sex and the guilt and shame.
And that's why when you're a, 15, 16-year-old kid, that's why, sex at 15, 16 is it's about a performance because all your friends are performing that.
Yes.
Versus like having an experience of connection, which is a completely different thing. And I think a lot of times as young kids are doing this, they're chasing something that they've heard about, but they don't really understand.
And you and I, as dad, and the audience listening, and whoever connects with this message, we get an opportunity to interrupt that pattern. Because that's the pattern you knew, that's the pattern I knew, that's most men listening to this probably knew. Is like you refer yourself to what you've heard at 15 and 16, but if you've heard the truth from your dad before, dude, bingo, you already have a fucking blueprint going into the game.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks for being with us, Jesse. Thanks for dropping this light onto all of us today. Gentlemen, thanks for being on the call today. And we're going to go to final words with Jesse, and then we'll see you on the next call.
So final words is this. Like, guys, if this is you, which I can tell you this, 98% of men out there who are married, like, this is you. This is you in your marriage. If you've been married for 5, 10 years or longer, the number one thing you can do is take pressure off yourself and your wife and create the conditions for connection and intimacy, which is the gateway to open up to an orgasm.
Beautifully said. Gentlemen, have yourself a fantastic week.